Hey guys, your boy Mark back with another video here to give you my review of WWE Backlash 2026. Now the show got off the air over an hour ago, but I woke up late. I kind of forgot about it actually, and most of the show was finished by the time I, rewatched it from the start. And gotta say, this was a pretty dang good show. Just good wrestling, top to bottom, honestly. Yeah, very happy with how the show turned out. And yes, John Cena, the GOAT, returned. Had a very special announcement, and it wasn't something that I know we all want, which is like, I'm coming back to the ring. It's not something like that. But it was still a really cool surprise announcement. So, yeah. So, Backlash opens up with Seth Rollins versus Braun Breaker, and this match was fantastico. I loved it. So intense. It went over 20 minutes, I think. And it was just fantastic stuff. Just, when someone says a match was fantastic, this really is just a thrilling match. Like, kickouts, fast-paced, all that type of stuff. And Seth Rollins still got it. Can't believe he is 40 years old this month. Crazy. But yeah, Braun Breaker actually gets the win. And it's different when you watch a show, like when you skip all the entrances. I skip a lot of the entrances. A lot of times I just let it play because I was just busy talking to friends. And I'd say my attention wasn't completely on focus for the last couple matches, I'll admit. But yeah, after that we got Trick Williams versus Sami Zayn for the US Championship. Great stuff. Great stuff. For what it was. Probably either this or the next match, the weakest match of the night easily though, but it was still solid stuff. What do you expect? There's Trick Williams and Sami Zayn. They went about maybe 10 or so minutes, and it's a good solid match. I don't know what more you would expect from that. And here's the next match that got. And now I'm starting to realize Danhausen is a massive troll, isn't he? The next match, Danhausen and a mystery partner against The Miz and Kit Wilson. So everyone was like, oh, John Cena's going to come out of retirement and be the mystery opponent. Oh my gosh. Jelly Roll is going to be the mystery opponent. So who was the mystery opponent? It was a mini version of Danhausen. I'm not even kidding. So, yeah. But to be fair, like, this mini Danhausen was pretty good. Did some good lucha stuff. It was a good goofy match. I think this is the type of match that fans will instinctively want to crap on. But I can't lie, I actually had a lot of fun, more fun than I was expecting watching this match. Now, that might have been because I already knew before I actually watched the match who the mystery partner was. So I didn't have like this excitation of, oh my god, who's this opponent? And so when that match actually came up, it was just like, oh, whatever, this is what it is. I'm just going to watch it. And fun, goofy stuff. There was cursed stuff like The Miz got out like a fire extinguisher, tried to spray Danhausen with it, but it wouldn't work on him. But then he accidentally sprayed his own face. The Miz, that was crack up, bro. And then the clone machine thing, when that Danhausen has, I don't really know how to explain this. It's, I'm still not completely familiar with Danhausen lore, to be honest. But with Kit Wilson, he locked the mini Danhausen in the cloning machine thing. And he was trying to like get him out of the match, but then a whole bunch more of mini Hausens came out. And no disqualifications, because I guess you can easily, obviously it's actors and all that, different people playing these mini Hausens. They didn't actually clone them, obviously. But, and you could still tell, like, who the main mini Hausen was if you look at his appearance from the other ones. Like, you can tell they have slightly different hairs and all that, facial I don't know how to explain it, you know what I mean? But, so no DQs. in this match, I guess. So that was pretty crack up. And next up, we have so that was pretty funny. And yeah, Miz and Danhausen. I mean, no, not Miz and Danhausen. Danhausen and Minihausen got the win. Yeah. So yeah. But next up, we have Io Sky versus Asuka. This is the match that probably should have had at WrestleMania, to be honest. But after what happened after this match, I'm thinking that well, they said they didn't know that Brock was retiring at WrestleMania. All right. So yeah. Anyway. But yeah. Again, like I said earlier, like this in the main event, I might not have paid 100% attention to. No fault of the match. Is just, I don't know. It was easy for my focus to drift at that point, I think. But this from what I saw, this match was pretty dang good. Asuka and Io Sky. I mean, how can you go wrong with Asuka and Io Sky? There was a really awesome part of the match where Asuka tried to do the green mist on Io Sky, and then Io grabbed Wade Barrett's laptop notebook. That thing right there. And held it up to block Asuka's mist. That's what Io did. That was pretty funny, actually. And yeah. And what I was saying before, I just remembered, like, I don't think I finished it, but like, it's different when you like skip a lot of the entrances and then, as opposed to like if you woke up late and then you watch the entire show in real time as it happened with all the entrances and all that in it. You know what I mean? That's what I was trying to talk about. Io got the win. There was a really cool moonsault she did to Asuka on the outside. That was cool. And then there was the thing after the match where Asuka's all emotional. She even made a post early on Twitter, I think, where she was kind of sitting cross-legged, kind of looking out, and I was thinking, retirement? And then I was like, oh yeah, that's right, Backlash is today. And then, so yeah, all the emotional stuff afterwards, and, you know, it's just speculation, obviously, but there's already, like, tributes to Asuka on social media, even by, like, wrestlers, other wrestlers, you know. So, is she retiring? Far out. We're getting too many legends retiring so soon, man. But yeah. But next up, we have John Cena's announcement. And you know how that shows that John Cena, even to WWE, I love Asuka, by the way, but he's more important to WWE than Asuka. Because I remember when Asuka's legendary undefeated streak came to an end, immediate focus to John Cena. Not even getting that was back at WrestleMania 34. Immediate focus to John Cena. Not really getting a chance to breathe. You know. And even, yeah. Immediately going to John Cena's historical announcement. And, like I said before, it wasn't something as we'd all love to see, like, I'm coming back to the ring full time. You know, it's nothing like that. I would love it. But the crowd did chant one more match. And the crowd wants John back. I want John back. We all want John back. I think time will tell if the fans' love and pressure will get to him. Because I do believe him when he says he's retired for good. But he got emotional. He said it feels good when he knows that fans want him back. But that wasn't his announcement, obviously. But his announcement was the John Cena Classic. How do I explain this? And I knew this before I actually watched the segment as well. So even when I actually watched it, it was still pretty confusing a little bit. So, like, determined by the fans. Fans get to choose who gets to be. And there's going to be a new championship, too. The John Cena. I don't know if that's the actual title. I don't know what the title of the championship is. I know the irony in the unintentional wordplay, title of the championship, because championships are also called title. You know what I mean. The John Cena Classic today versus the Stars of Tomorrow. Stars of Today versus Stars of Tomorrow. And it sounds like it's going to be an annual thing. Winning the John Cena Championship, or whatever they call it. And then, that's awesome. You know what I love? I love that John Cena haters don't, even after he retired, don't get a chance to breathe. Because fuck these assholes. But yeah. I probably could go on and on about the John Cena Championship, but it's funny how so many smarks say that, like, John Cena's not actually a big star, but as soon as this championship was announced, now everyone wants their favorite guy to win that championship. I know I've said this for over a decade. I still want to be a wrestler one day. As well as filmmaker. So, I want to win that championship one day. I got to, bro. But yeah. And then even John did the same thing he did at WrestleMania Nights 1 and 2. He was like, now it's time for the main event. And he did that here too. Roman Reigns versus Jacob Fatu. Roman Reigns was really taken to his limits in this match by Jacob. Jacob was like, he kicked out of at least 2 spears. I'm not even kidding. And like I said, I did see those 2 spear kickouts, but I didn't quite see because I heard people say he kicked out of like 6 Superman punches as well. A lot of people kick out of the Superman punch, bro. Like, why is that big a deal, you know? That's like saying, even though I love the move, that's like saying someone kicked out of the 5-knuckle shuffle. Like, of course they would. It's a signature move, not the finishing move, you know? Although Kofi Kingston on an episode of Raw or SmackDown, and by the way, thank you to Kofi and Xavier Woods, by the way, you know, not in WWE anymore. What are we talking about again? And yeah, I just got out of bed. That's why I look like this. I can't remember what I was saying. But yeah, Roman retains, you know, and in these cases, the champion mostly retains anyway. But it's always like, by the skin of his teeth he retained. Even by the skin of his teeth, it's usually always the champion that retains, no? Anyway, I am hungry, and I'm really happy with how this review turned out, actually, so thanks for watching, peace out, hope you enjoyed.